Hello everyone, my name's Tomasz. You can call me Pei. And I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I kind of just wanted to record this as kind of a retrospective. I've seen people like OG Albina, shoutouts by the way. Even John Jr., my favorite. Look at me glazing John Jr. already. My favorite draft content creator online do these kinds of movies about entire seasons of Draft League. And because I've kind of skipped on uploading when it comes to my draft leagues, because I figured that recording was making me nervous, especially when I was recording during the games. So I switched to doing post comms, and that wasn't so fun for me, as fun as recording during games. So I kind of realized that I should instead just do this maybe. And the person who sent me the challenge to actually do this was Maansib, a friend I've made in the Forge, and that I was very fortunate to end up facing this season. So anyway, to go over the season, I should maybe start with the beginning, and the beginning was the draft. Well, I remember the day when the coaches were announced. I believe it was Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. I believe it was Christmas Day because I remember I was at my girlfriend's uncle's house, I believe. And I saw my name pop up, and I was like, nice, I got in again. This wasn't my first time playing in a Forge. It was my second time in the Mega Aggron division. I actually started in Aggron like three seasons ago. I apologize. And this was the first time in a long time where I actually liked the team I drafted. And I remember the day the draft started, I woke up in the morning and I went to see if my name had popped up in the draft chat so I could make my pick. And Gallade was still there. And I had told Alfhan previously, Alfhan and Smort, my two best draft friends I've made, and two, like, just straight up, two great human beings I've met along the way of playing this stupid children's game of the internet, on the internet. I mean, just absolute shoutouts to them. I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. But I had told them beforehand that if Gallade was available, I'd pick Gallade because, it's Gallade in low tier. It's fucking broken. I picked Gallade, but then I was like, everyone who has won the Forge the past few seasons has had a low kicks. And the previous season, my friend Smort was in Laron, and I helped him in the Laron division. And I helped him build for most of his games. And low kicks was a really cool piece to use on his team, and I really enjoyed building around it. So I was like, maybe I'll give it a chance and draft like a spike stack team for the season of the Forge. And since I'd played a bunch of NU the months beforehand, I figured I could do that with maybe a Toxtricity and the Gligar and the Tauros. So that was the game plan from there. Originally, I remember I wanted to use Terra Espeon, but that eventually got sniped, and that was a blessing in disguise because Terra Mesprit was undisputedly the MVP of my team this season. There's no debate. It simply was the MVP. There's no going around it. Um, then I needed removal, so I drafted Colossal, and I remember asking Exo to give me his Colossal in Grace because he'd previously picked it up. And yeah, let's just maybe we should start going over what actually happened in the season. I chose a few key games to to show how it was like going through the season. So let me just close this, and let's start with the first replay I chose, which is first versus Crimfinity. So this first game shows something that kind of represents my state, my how should I say this? My difficulties dealing with nerves while recording. This game with Crim was the last one where I attempted to record, and it's not just recording. You'll notice throughout the games. You'll notice that I'm not very consistent. This is not my job. I'm a university student, and even if I do spend a lot of time playing Mons, The truth is, I'm very inconsistent. I sometimes I don't plan ahead. I make stupid plays just for the sake of making them, and I end up making stupid mistakes. And this game is a like very good representation of that. I don't exactly remember what happens in this game, but there's a turn in particular. Like I had no plan for Vaporeon. I think I had a covert cloak on Tauros. I just stay in, toxicking this. Like I chip things for the sake of chipping things. I had no real plan for this. I let myself die immediately instead of, trying to do something like making a double or something. Um, and there's a turn in this battle that shows exactly that, and I believe it's one where my low kicks is facing this Tornadus, where I sucker punch the Torn. Well, I mean, I should have predicted that Sub was coming. At least Sub were Protect. So like this sucker punch was kind of stupid because I just lose if he substitutes. So I should have just knocked off, and I didn't think of it. It just didn't cross my mind during that game. And this game, after it, I felt really unmotivated because sure I won the first week, but like I was 1-1 and I played like shit and I felt really bad. And that's the downside of Draft League for me. I used to feel really bad about not performing because like tying your self worth to a game is really. I mean, not saying I did it, but you still end up feeling like crap even if you lose. Because you put so much work into the teams and like prepping for a game, and then you play like shit when you're playing. It's just not rewarding at all. So this week was tough. I remember this week, and I ended up losing to Tornadoes, I believe. Actually, oh, I mean, Krim almost choked to my low kicks, but yeah, I actually lost to Sandy Shocks, not that. But yeah, the season started going a little better. I won a few games here and there, and then I finally got to face Lucas. And I remember this game, I prepped a ton, and I managed to bring a cool set for this team. I was really afraid of a agility Choppleberry Hydro Pump Empoleon. Alfhan um, prepared that one to face me in a mock. And this was the first game where I considered that I didn't play horribly in, I don't think. I managed to catch the Cleaver on a Will-O-Wisp. Tauros was an Intimidate because of the Empoleon, which he ended up not bringing. AV Berserker showed its. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of weird just going through these games. Also, I don't know who this is. But yeah, I remember I brought a really cool Mesprit set to this game. I'm trying to show it off. Hold on. Let me see if I can show it. I believe it's here. I still haven't revealed my item. Yeah, I click Imprison, which is really dope. Leech Seed fucks me up, of course, but it is what it is. Because I was CM Draining Kiss on this. The Encore fucks me up? Nope, because I'm Mental Herb. That was real cool tech. But, yeah, I am now becoming aware that it's actually difficult to keep this interesting because these are just a lot of games that happen in the season and I've just showed 2 losses to begin with. The game versus Lucas was really cool. He was Choice Band, Terra Grass, Thwacky, and yeah, late game Grassy Glide just destroyed me. It was a pretty close game. Lucas won the previous Mega Aggron season, so no shame in losing to him, and it was a pretty cool game. Next game, I chose my replay versus Alfhan. Again, as I mentioned, one of my online best friends, and someone I hadn't beaten close to maybe 2 years. I mentioned this in a previous video, I believe I have on my channel, but I believe I hadn't beat Alfhan since I've started dating my now girlfriend, and we've been dating for almost 2 years now, which is insane to think about that I've played like crap versus Alfhan since then. But yeah, so as you can imagine, I prepped a lot for this game, and I'll try to actually make this interesting. So let's go through this. If I was looking at this right now, I believe I led Frozlast versus him. I think I brought Choice Band Frozlast versus him because it was really good. His only good resist is, I mean, sure, you have a Glaceon, but Poltergeist is really good into his team. And so is Triple Axel. And I really needed a way to chip this giraffe. Let me see. Yeah, he just didn't click Terra turn 1, and I took advantage of that. He's nasty, but that's an insane play. Um, but yeah, that was a very, very, very big turn. Um, and I believe I brought a. Now I believe I U-turn here, predicting Cramorant. Yeah, awesome. And Mesprit should come out. Yep, yep, yep. This is a Specs Terra Electric Mesprit, and I brought it because I was afraid that Alfhan would bring like an Encore variant on Zoroark to lock me into Encore. Sure, I could have brought Mental Herb again, but you know. And you know, Specs Thunderbolt just smokes this entire team if you look at it. He has no resist because he didn't bring Sandaconda. He switches in his Sneasel apparently, but it's actually Zoroark, and it lives. And I come to realize that this wasn't EV, it was just like super HP Spadef Zoroark, which is fucking insane. Because Alfan is insane in the head. This is a Scarf Tauros, I believe. What did he click here? Flamethrower. I don't exactly know why he clicked Flamethrower. Yeah. I clicked Wave Crash there. Not exactly amazing. Was I anything cool on this? Oh, he Hurricane's not even Surf. Triple Axel comes through. I believe this was either Trailblaze or Choice Scarf on that. This was Choice. No, this was... My Toxtricity this game was like Encore Charge Beam Shift Gear. Because I was really afraid of setup Klefki. That was a cool set I brought. I liked that one. It did it do anything? No. But it was cool. Toxic Spikes, which are weird. Here's me flirting with Smort, which is always fun. I believe I just killed this, yeah. Jesus. Yeah, Specs Mesprit is insane. I believe I keep this always. Yeah. And then I just win. Because my Gligar was super, super, super invested into attack this game. I initially, like, I U-turned on a CM from Klefki because I thought he could have Magnetized, so I wanted to go into my Mesprit just to Thunderbolt it as quickly as I could before it set up too much. But yeah, this was my first time beating Alfan in, again, close to 2 years, so I knew that the season could be something special. Next up I had I believe this is my final regular season game versus DJ's, an undefeated player at this point of the draft. And I don't think I played very well against him. The draft, yeah, I brought Banded last again. I brought Banded Frost last again. But yeah, the hazards really hurt me this game. My hazard clear, as I said before in the team analysis, was in fact a Colossal, so you know, it's not like I could have done much. Also here I make a bad play. I overdrive instead of, you know, doubling or clicking Boom Burst. See, again, this is a good example of me being rusty, not playing enough, not thinking about what I'm doing enough. What do I do here? At least I double back. As he goes Sinistcha, I believe? Or does he just hazard again? Hazard again is a crazy play. DJ's doesn't really switch from what I understand. That crit bailed me. I was throat spray this game apparently. Triscarf was a much better bring versus DJ's on Toxtricity at least. As I would figure out later. Yeah, Protect makes sense because I have low kicks and everything. I was AV on Berserker, which ended up not being a great bring. What did I even do here? He Dark Pulses, I live. Am I gonna nuke this? Yeah. But yeah, this game, I believe he cooks me. I live this, and I click U-turn to put him in Triscarf Toro's range, because I knew I'd live that. Like, it was super telegraphed that I was Scarfed, but he doesn't switch for some reason. Chai. And here he cooks me with a cool set. He brought Trick Room Nasty Plot, and he managed to trade versus me. And then this shit just won. So yeah, that was my last game of the regular season, and then round 1 I faced Nacho, and I beat him. And then I had 3 more. I had another game, and it was against another undefeated player. I played versus Darkster. Hold on. Versus Darkster, I thought I had no chance of winning this game. To be perfectly honest. If I remember correctly, this Registeel gave me a lot of trouble. Even if I have Tauros, I don't exactly remember what kind of Mesprit I brought to this game. I believe it was Terra Fairy because I was very afraid of a special or mixed Flygon with Terra Dragon Draco Meteor, because Alfhan cooked me and Mox with that. Gardevoir was obviously a threat, so I brought Terra Berserker. The Talonflame was really hard to check. I had Scarf Toxtricity, which was really good into his team. Especially late game. The Skuntank had to go, and the Vaporeon was also an issue. Yeah, as you can see, I doubled to like this thing immediately, predicting some sort of DD Flygon to check if it was clear Amulet or not. But my fear was, my worries are right, and like he was just Terra Dragon Draco Meteor, unfortunately. And he nukes my Tauros, which actually wasn't really likely to happen. That was like a 20% chance to happen, and I believe I was scarfed on Tauros too. So, yeah. Getting the hazards up goes a long way this game, though. What was my switch into this? Oh, Cinemarol. Oh, I remember what this is. That's a Specs Vaporeon, and at this point in the game I was like, Jesus Christ, everything's falling apart. I didn't think I would lose this quickly. But yeah, I managed to calc for a few seconds and realized that I could actually CM and Draining Kiss up one time. My Mesprit was really fizzed after this game, so I actually knew that clicking Draining Kiss on Talonflame would put me at an HP range where I'd live Flare Blitz after that. So yeah, I just trade versus the Talonflame, which was really, really, really good for me. Because the Flygon was Terra Dragon, and I knew that maybe there was a possibility that he'd only have U-turn as a move that could hit Mesprit. I just kept it just so I could, maybe I'd switch it in on a possible Draco Meteor or a U-turn, and I don't really lose that much HP since I'm immune to ground moves. So here I just go hard Berserker, I believe. Okay, then I managed to put myself in a comfortable position. Is this knockoff or U-turn? Knockoff, okay. And here, seeing this and seeing that my Toxtricity was one of the best ways for me to win this game, I figured that close combating was like a pretty good play here, just to remove this Registeel. Yeah, and I close combat. He reveals he's Spadef Registeel, and Darkster goes for really, really greedy rocks. So yeah. Sure, my Mesprit's not going to appreciate those rocks, but I can still come in one time. And sure, I die to a U-turn, but still a good sack for later. Flygon comes out, and I figured, sure, let's throw out my Mesprit. But Darkster makes a really interesting play. I don't know if he forgot that I was Levitate on this or not, but I managed to Draining Kiss one more time and make sure that I can come in again. That does actually very decent damage. My AV Berserker is right there, but I go Gligar, predicting a Focus Blast, I believe, because, the switch to Berserker was so obvious that I thought going Gligar would give me, like, a good chance of keeping momentum on my side. Also, I thought this was Choice Scarf at this point in the game, so I thought, I'd put myself in a very good position if I went Gligar. He clicks Moonblast, surprising me. I still think this is Choice Scarf at this point. So I go into this, he crits me, that's unfortunate, of course. He chooses to go Skuntank, which is obviously amazing for my Toxtricity. Now here I wanted a way to chip this without it switching, and I figured that he would stay in on a low kicks if I clicked U-turn. And that's exactly what happened. So everything is getting better for my Toxtricity at this point. Now Roar was annoying, of course. He spends a few turns roaring here, I believe. I choose to keep this alive again for a possible sack versus Gligar. He keeps roaring. I just keep switching until either Gligar or Mesprit dies. He misses that, and I managed to outplay him because the turn beforehand I clicked U-turn, predicting the Flygon switch, but the turn after that I didn't want to click U-turn again because I knew I had the sack in hand, or like I could sack Gligar and then go Mesprit and get a Draining Kiss. So yeah, Earthquake was just correct. I was Hyper Cutter on Gligar this game just so I could Toxic a possible bulky CM Gardevoir. I was also faster than Gardevoir, I believe, to do that, which, you know, shows up here. I Earthquake Gardevoir, and this is where I found out this wasn't Scarf, and I actually killed the Gardevoir, which was insane. So yeah, obviously now my Toxtricity is looking insane, and so is my low kicks. And that ended up being a win for me, and that led me to semifinals of this draft league. Then in semis, I faced another familiar foe, DJ's. This time I was keen on winning. I knew I could do it, and I brought the best Pokemon that I figured could come in this game. My Mesprit was a Nasty Plot variant with 3 attacks, because I knew it traded super, super, super well versus his entire team. I believe it was Citrus Berry for a possible Bandit Cyclozar, and Charizard just trying to nuke the shit out of me. Originally, I was Select Berry to try to sweep, but I figured that that this thing was too good to pass up on. The Citrus Berry, I mean, it was too versatile in this game. Now, in this game, I had some trouble prepping, and I really thought that I could taunt the Whiscash with my Frozlass. So I spent a lot of time thinking about a possible the Frozlass lead, but obviously he has Oblivious, so he's immune to taunt, so that wouldn't have worked. So I had to bring Colossal instead. Well, with that said, let's just take a look at this game. Jolteon was a big threat, and obviously, I mean, I brought Scarf Toxtricity again. Which was, you know, maybe the MVP of the playoff games, not gonna lie. Yeah, Charizard and Jolteon were really, really, really big threats, and I assume Hatcham was here to wall or like try to check my Mesprit. So yeah, I chose to lead with this because I thought since last time he led Whiscash, I could have probably, you know, started setting up and just doing damage, but he led with this, which is really annoying. So I chose to just go Ryuji on a Volt Switch. Obviously that baits in Whiscash. So I go hard Cinnamoroll. Here I should have either doubled or just Shadow Balled as, you know, Hatcham comes in, but I got greedy and Nasty Plotted. Again, not thinking about what I could have done in the future or the next few turns. So I just got greedy and clicked the setup option. But yeah, I figured there were ways of playing around that. I figured the switch was too obvious, so I figured that Stealth Rocking there was always correct. I figured that Rapid Spinning was also correct, because next turn I can just go Mesprit, Nasty Plot, and then... Actually, no, I don't plot here. I always Shadow Ball as Hatcham comes out, yeah. And now, all of a sudden, Hatcham seems to be chipped. And with a chipped Hatcham, next time Mesprit comes out... Okay, yeah, here I went hard Toxtricity, predicting a Nuzzle. I predicted the Whiscash switch there, so I went Pochita. I believe I knock off the Rocky Helmet on the Weezing here. Here I started to get into the groove of things in this game. Started waking up. He was obviously neutralizing gas, so my Tinted Lens doesn't work as well as it should. He goes Whiscash one more time as I spin again. Colossal actually doing something, and here Mesprit actually gets an opportunity to Nasty Plot because Hatcham has been chipped. And he chooses to go into this, which is perfect for me, because now I'm just going to Terra Fairy. That's a Choice Band Double Edge. I get my Citrus, I Draining Kiss, and I absolutely murder this this Cyclozar. So now he's forced to go into Hatcham. I Shadow Ball. He almost dies. That was a roll in my favor, but I didn't get it. I believe if I got it, that was just GG's for me. I think I'd just sweep with Mesprit right there. But yeah, removing Hatcham is a fucking great, great, great step towards winning this game. I just put this in. I just wanted to put it in range of possible. I believe it was. It wasn't just Tor. Maybe I wanted to like try to put it in Toro's Aquajet as well, but obviously not Specs. Scarf Boomburst goes really hard right now, so I just have to like play this end game accordingly, and I should get this win going. Gligar comes out. He predicts that I'm toxic, but I wasn't. I was actually dual wing beat because he had a Heracross. So I thought that bringing dual wing beat was correct. He's chipped. Boomburst. Boomburst. He actually lives because Punk Rock doesn't affect Wheezing because of neutralizing gas. He gets the burn, and things are looking a little grim. Not really, because low kick still cleans up. But I choose to go Tauros. I'm Wakan Berry, and I beat the Jolteon, and that's another undefeated player beaten in the semifinals of the Forge, and that leaves me with the finals game against Maansib, a great friend I've made in the Forge. Against him, I figured that I should bring a special Pokemon. I should bring Blossom almost every time because Blossom is Terra Fairy, and if you look at Maansib's team, his only real Fairy resist is either Terra Poison Pupitar, which is good for me because it forces Inteleon not to click Terra, and an Armarouge, which, you know, is an Armarouge, not a real, Fairy switch-in. And even then, if Armarouge decided to set up alongside me, I have Encore on Blossom. So this set was super, super, super good to face Maansib. And then again, I also wanted Encore for a possible Iron Defense Cobalion. I had Thunder Wave Mesprit this game because it wasn't, the setup option I usually use, or Specs, or an offensive variant for the matter. And I brought Psychic Noise because I didn't want Iron Defense Rest Cobalion to be able to just rest on me after Thunder Wave. So Psychic Noise was really good for that. Altaria I figured would come either that or Vikavolt for the Tauros because Tauros looked insane, especially Scarf Tauros into Maansib's team. It was a really, really good way of finishing off the game or just breaking early game. And Tauros forces a switch to Altaria, and I can take advantage of that, double to Blossom, and get a free QD, which is ultimately what I ended up trying to do in this game. So I lead Cinnamoroll because I figured that Maansib could lead Inteleon. He had done it before I did my homework. Here I figured that I could always click Thunder Wave because if he goes AV Donphan, which is something that I predicted he could try to bring, sure, I can just U-turn out, go to my low kicks on a possible knockoff and knock it off, or U-turn and keep the game going from there. So that would be fine, but I managed to get the paralysis on the Armarouge, which is massive because, as you guys know, weak armor could be a big, big, big problem. I managed to Shadow Ball this. I wanted to chip this as early as I could so Blossom could get going as fast as possible. He reveals Weakness Policy, which is what my friend Alfhan brought to Mox. I choose to switch to this thing right here. And I figure that, like, if I'm ever going to get Rocks, it's right now, because he's not going to switch to Donphan here. He's set up, so, like, he might as well try to kill me. So I figure that, setting up Stealth Rock here is correct. I originally had Rock Blast on this, but I figured that, if he was Psychic Terrain and Weakness Policy, that would end very badly for me. Because then I can't Revenge Kill with Aqua Jet on Scarf Tauros or Sucker Punch on Low Kicks. So I switched to Power Gem before the game. And here I just chose to go Low Kicks. I figured that a knockoff wouldn't really hurt my plans, because U-turn didn't kill here, so I had to knock off actually. And he brought the wrong ability, which is unfortunate, but it really didn't matter because he was paralyzed. I chose to bring this out, just to see what he would have done. Here, playing around the possible Choice Band variant or Swords Dance variant, I managed to take it slow and just go Tauros, as he reveals Iron Defense. So that gives me a pretty free switch to Mesprit to do Thunder Wave shenanigans, but he went Altaria. Again, this wasn't really the interact. I talked about this interaction, but I felt like Maansib would stay in because he Iron Defense, you know? I chose to just Thunder Wave the Altaria just to check if he was like some sort of Dragon Dance set or something. But he goes Donphan and he reveals AV, taking 18% from that Psychic Noise. Here I just go low kicks on a very obvious knockoff. I figured that the Donphan would have Gunk Shot and Earthquake in this game because of Blossom or Terra Fairy Mesprit, which is either. I mean, I guess he didn't bring it for Blossom because this is actually the first time I brought Blossom. But Terra Fairy Mesprit is something that I've brought a lot of times, and Maansib knew that. So here I went Tauros, and I knew he was switching to Altaria, so the double to Blossom was really easy to make. And here, as I said before, I just get a free Quiver Dance. I really don't care about whatever he can do to me, because I will just QD again, and then go from there. He chose to Calm Mind, which, you know, at +2 I'm faster than Cobalion, so I can just Encore it and keep setting up. And from this point forward, there was little he could do. He actually does Gunk Shot, but I knew he wasn't max attack, so I knew I was fine. I chose the Strength Sap because like the odds of him critting me here were low enough. I mean, he could miss, and then sure he could hit and crit, but if he could also miss since Gunk Shot is low accuracy. So I figured that Strength Sap was safe, and he actually goes for Earthquake there. So from here on out, I just click Moonblast until I win the game, and I became the Forge Mega Aggron champion. I never thought I'd actually do it this season. I was pretty surprised when it happened. I think I played very well in the playoffs. I think I played like shit in the regular season. I think playoffs were completely different, and I'm very glad that I managed to bring the Pokemon my girlfriend gave me on Valentine's Day to the finals, and I managed to sweep with it. Let me actually go grab something before I end this video. So, as you can see, here is the here's Blossom. Here's the finals MVP from Forge Season 13. But yeah, with that said, I'd like to thank everyone I've mentioned previously in this video for a great Forge season. And I really don't know what this was. I hope this was entertaining for those who stood around, or sticked around, I guess, English. Yeah, with that said, I don't know if I'll come back in the next Forge season, but yeah, this was my first time doing something like this, and I hope it went well. So with that, I say goodbye, and I hope to see you soon, maybe. Peace!